Round two. I did a short video and I decided that it wasn't good enough. I kept stumbling over my words because I still, after all this time, am a little nervous about being in front of the camera. I don't really like it too much, but I do like sharing paranormal videos so other people can see what it's really about. Because I was a paranormal enthusiast for many years, as far back as I can remember, like a young tween, and I wanted to get out and see if it was really what people claim it is. I think a lot of paranormal investigators fake a lot of their evidence, and they use this scare tactic, just to keep people enthralled to watch it. And I know that my videos are very boring compared to that because I don't fake stuff, and I have been told my videos are boring, and that's fine, but it's not for everybody. It's for those who really, really want to know, because I do believe in spirits, but I don't believe they can do all these things that people claim that they can do. I've been out into places looking for demons and such, and not once have I ever been scratched. I've been around one person who claimed it, or two people who said they were, and I just kind of like, I think they did it to themselves, if you ask me. But I've been living in Oklahoma for a little over a year and a half, and I moved out on 10 acres, and I thought, I really love flowers and stuff, so why not get out and try to start a garden. I'm going to explain why in a minute, why I'm taking a break from the paranormal, but I just wanted to tell you what I'm currently working on. It's taking a lot of work because I'm trying to start a garden from scratch, and I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on gardening, so I'm probably going to have a lot of fails, and I have decided that I'm going to start posting a few of those videos on that, especially since I'm taking a break from the paranormal. I haven't just disappeared. I know there's some of you who follow my videos, and thank you for that. Mwah! You looking for the truth? You the true heroes. But I had joined a paranormal group, and I was in it for almost a year, not quite a year. Luckily, the only money I really dropped into it was getting a hoodie and a t-shirt. So that was like $147. Just wasted. I can't wear that shit anywhere. I would not promote that team. Not once. Not once. He is a very gross individual. Anyways, that whole almost year I was in the group, I was around him and the group 4 times total. And the 5th time I was around him, yes, only 5 times in a year, dude knew absolutely butt-kiss about me. I tried to keep my personal life and what he was doing in the paranormal group completely separate, because the first day I met this dude, I knew he had an ego, and I was trying to avoid it because you do have more opportunities as locations. Plus, he's from Oklahoma, and I figured, hey, he knows all the cool and places. I found his number off of Google. Ladies, if you join a paranormal group, pay attention to the founder. If it's a male, sometimes they have nefarious reasons for doing said things. Yeah. You really got to watch out for that. I never thought about things like that. But anyways, he had started texting me, like when we would go out on investigations, and he would send me a text saying that I was beautiful or whatever, and I just ignored it, hoping that he would get the hint and I wouldn't have to flat out say no, because I was trying to skirt away from those issues, because I could tell that he rode the drama llama hardcore, and with his ego, it was ridiculous. I got us into one investigation that it was an epic one. Oh man, was it? I really love that place. And I had spoken with the librarian for a while and had met up with her before I'd even met him or even joined this group. And he gave me absolutely no credit for doing that. He had put out a video a couple days after we did that investigation, claiming that he was a one-man wonder for the team. Nobody put in any effort to do anything at all whatsoever. And I had left some comments on those, and stating that, I had done this and that, trying to point out that he did not do it all on his own. And he deleted my comments. So yeah, he was one of those. Anyways, I went to go to headquarters one night to go over evidence with him, and he had texted my phone And I didn't know it was him at first, but I kind of had a feeling not to pick up my phone and look. And it was something inappropriate. He was asking me to stay the night and warm him up. And I just never answered it. I was kind of hoping he would get past that. But when I had met up with the group and everything, I went to one barbecue at his house, and his ex-wife and his sons go out with him. They're not really that interested. You can tell they weren't, but they went anyways. He probably just forces them to do it. But I could tell him and his ex-wife were very much so still involved. Oh, yeah. But he had gotten involved with another woman, and she supposedly was a part of the group, but I never got to meet her. He told me that he was playing mind games with his ex-wife and that other lady by talking about my ass. So I had women who were jealous of me, and I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know that he was talking about me like that. So this guy was playing head games with the women in his life, and he used me as a chess piece. Real great. Huge ego. Yeah. But anyways, the 5th time I was around him, it was without the team. I was trying to get him to wait till the weekend so that my best friend could go with us. And he was really adamant. So I ended up switching some stuff around, and he was like playing on my emotions and everything. He's like, I'm so lonely now that I don't have a job and I'm looking for work and I really want to get out and I don't have anybody to go with me. And I was like, fine. I switched some stuff around and I went with him. So we were scouting out places. Everything was going great. I was having a blast. And then we reached over, I think in Medicine Park, there was this little bridge with water going over it. It's not a tall bridge at all whatsoever. But when I was about halfway across it, I felt like I had vertigo. Now, I am currently a middle-aged woman who is in menopause. And when you go through menopause, it changes everything about you. I am not experienced fear of heights or anything before. This is just new to me. I'm even breaking out with pimples like a little teenager. It's like my second puberty, okay? So I stopped and I asked him for assistance. And he came over and he grabbed my hand and he was trying to walk next to me. And it was a very narrow bridge. And I was freaking out, like really freaking out. And I was like, what are you doing? Get in front of me. Not a romantic moment. And I mean, like freaking out and everything. How can you perceive that as being romantic? But we got past the little bridge, and he had mentioned to me that he thought that he said something to the fact of I did that just to hold his hand. And I said, nah, man, I was really freaking out, because I was. So we continue on, and he takes me to another bridge, and this one was a higher bridge over water. I don't know if it had something to do with the water. I'm not quite sure. I'm changing, my balance is changing and everything. We go to step on that bridge and I noticed it right away. So I grabbed the side of the railing. And he was talking to me. I don't know what he was saying to me, but I kind of I'm pretty sure I had a raised voice. I was like, I have to get off this bridge. And I got off of it. So on the way back, he stopped by a Pizza Hut to get dinner or whatever, and he had somewhat started talking inappropriate about my ass. He was really fixated on it, and I was uncomfortable, and I was like, yay, I'm in his vehicle. I have no way to escape. Woohoo, better stay quiet so I can get out of this situation. So we go in, and he shows me a text on his phone where his daughter had texted him, and he was giggling about it, and his daughter had asked how the date was going. And I just started shaking my head. I was like, nope, this is not a date. He goes, oh, I'll let her know. She was probably just kidding, like brushing it off. For his daughter to be sending him a text like that, he told his family he was taking me out on a date. Cheap freaking date, huh? I don't think so. But to get him to turn his attention away from me, I started talking about the statistics about syphilis and how that's where plastic surgery went. And I was all, da-da-da-da-da. He actually went home and told his ex-wife all about that stuff. And I had told her when he started flipping out on me, I called her because I thought maybe she could help with the situation. And she goes, oh, you're where that came from. And I was like, yeah, I was trying to gross him out. If you're a lady, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we do some weird stuff and start talking about weird stuff when we're uncomfortable trying to get someone to look away from us, But she had told me the very first time I'd gone over to their house, when I went to that barbecue, that when I had got up and excused myself, that he was talking about my ass right then and there. And I was like, I wished I had heard that. I would have walked out the door and not had anything further to do with him. I know that when we were He had also told me, he mentioned to me that while we were at the library doing an investigation, he was talking about my ass, my butt, in front of his two boys. So, yeah, good job, homie. Parent of the year. Some people. But anyways, after that exploration, I come in and I was like, oh, that didn't happen. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear ding, ding, ding on my phone. And I open up my phone, and it's him, and it was some sort of 80s ballad love song. Hello, he didn't know anything about me. I don't listen to that music. Privacy. And then some meme having to do with, you really care about somebody if you can't sleep because you're thinking of them, and then some sort of weird poetry thing. I can't remember, but I was like, oh no, because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and I wanted to sleep and I was freaking out. So I waited till the next day, till way in the afternoon, and I sent him a text, and I was putting him down in the kindest way I could. I was like, no, my heart, and I can tell you're romantic. I was saying no. That was the whole point. But I was not trying to bruise his ego because I didn't want him to take it out on me. Because, like I said, huge megalomaniac. I mean, I could just see it on him. Anyways, he started texting me and saying that I couldn't be a part of the group anymore, that I had made it awkward, that we were both standoffish. And I was like, why can't we just get past this and continue to do investigations since we're both so passionate about the paranormal? And he got angry because his text continued on. And I knew at this point it was done. I wasn't going to say anything further, but he continued to text me, claiming I had issues and everything. And he really took that no hard. Whew, he took it hard. But he also started texting my best friend, wanting to get me to meet up with him so that I could give him the key to headquarters back. And I was like, nah, I never want to see this man again. Never. Because, I was like, there's something wrong. He took that no too hard, and he's insulting me, and, he's really angry. So there's no way I'll ever go around him again. He continued to text me. And my best friend was still in the group chat, and he claimed in the group chat that it was alcohol and drugs. Another team member screenshotted it and sent it to me. I was like, okay. So I let his ex-wife know that I was aware that he was claiming I was on substance. Like, I'm a loner. Who the freak am I buying drugs from, homie? I'm not going to spend money on that shit. I got other things to do. I got plants to buy and upkeep of the house and shit like that, But because of the way he was texting me and everything, and how I felt like this could be a safety issue, because he only lived 45 minutes away from me, and my son was still living here at the time. This was before he moved to Texas. And then I had, my best friend to think about, or myself, my safety. I decided that I was going to go make a report at the sheriff's department. So I drove there, and the first line on my report, the sheriffs were like, oh, that's who we thought it was. And I was like, oh, they know this guy. They did tell me some stories. I'm not going to say what they were, but I'm lucky that something worse didn't happen. They did tell me that they wanted me to email all of the texts and everything. So I did that, and I handed them the key, and they were more than happy. The sheriff actually giggled. He was like, yeah, I'll go talk to him. I know exactly where to find him. I didn't have an address for him, but they knew where he lived. That's how much of a trouble he is. So anyways, they take the key to him, and they tell him not to ever contact me again, or there will be, or can be, a case for harassment. So he did put out some videos, and he did say that, yeah, I tried to press harassment on him. You're right, I did. But the way the laws are here in Oklahoma, I couldn't do it unless he continued. But they went and spoke with him and let him know that I never wanted to hear from him again. So that's the rundown on why I am taking a break from the paranormal and focusing more on garden. I will go out back ghost hunting again. I just, I needed a minute to process all of that, because I moved out here to stay away from dramas and any kind of relationships like that. I had already previously, like 2 years ago, decided I was happier by myself. I was tired of going through the humdrum of getting to know somebody and then having to deal with all their crap. And then when I needed some support, I didn't get anything back. You know, it was just, I didn't pick good partners, but the few partners that I've had in my life, I was like, you know, they made me miserable and I just tolerated it and tolerated it. And I just don't want to put myself through that anymore. I'm truly happy by myself, you know. But I will be getting back out there. I just thought that I would kind of explain myself if anybody was confused as to why I'm posting little shorts about the garden. That's why. And I know it took me a while to explain, and I'm sorry about that, but I was worried for my safety and for my kids and my best friend. You know, I was thinking of other people too, you know, and I don't know, you know, shit happens. Ladies, pay attention. Seriously. Red flags, I'm really prone about ignoring some of those, but as I'm getting older, I just really don't want nothing to do with it. But that's what's been happening and what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to showing videos of where I failed at the plants growing outside, or what I killed, or, you know, or what I made pretty. I hope you guys enjoy that too. On one of my shorts, I did notice that there was 4 comments I couldn't read. So probably went against community standards. Quit being buttholes. The world's already hard enough to live in. I'll talk to you later, guys.